she looked beautiful. The two spoke simultaneously, immediately confused by the other's declaration. Ava's hands took fingers full of hair on either side of her face and fluffed them out hopelessly. Taking pity on her declining enthusiasm for being seen in public, Dalton began rummaging through the cabinets beneath the sink. "What are you looking for? Clippers so you can shave it all off?" "Spray shampoo." He paused, looking up at her from a deep squat. "How in the world do you even know what that is?" "Come on, with hair like yours, it's like stretching for your muscles." He rose quickly to his feet, shielding her face with his left hand as he fashioned a halo of mist around her head. Her smile made him smile, as he fanned the remaining sweet-scented particles from their faces. Taking the fat bristled brush from the vanity and a handful of hair at the right of her face, he managed a few strokes, as Ava's eyes closed while he worked. A few pins and clips had her unruly mane looking fit for an event much more upscale than the one they were charting a course for. Dalton's knack for styling hair was just one more talent Ava never counted on. He pulled one side into a sort of updo, while the other side was pulled back away from her face with a comb clip, expertly pinned with a technique she'd never seen before. Some light foundation, dark mascara, and her raspberry lipstick had her ready to be seen in public. A quick text message to Dalton's bartender friend at Terrence had a man waiting out front of the restaurant to park the oversized pickup. The clever handshake handoff of the keys to the truck to the would-be valet didn't make near the impression that having his hand at the small of her back did. Their proximity and touch was something she'd been missing, and it didn't matter who others saw him as. She was his for the night, and it made her feel invincible. The two walked straight to their table with a pair of club sodas and limes already waiting for them. As they were seated, a food runner was placing a plate of bruschetta just the way Dalton liked it. A man dressed in a sport coat with shiny slacks and expensive-looking shoes made his way out of the kitchen, drying his hands on a towel that he ditched on the table behind Dalton. Immediately, Dalton was on his feet, and in an embrace with this man as if they were a strange family reuniting after years of separation. Ava smiled at the gesture of the men, kissing each other on the cheek, like she'd seen in many other cultures, but less in America. Shyly, Ava extended her hand to shake the man's, not expecting to have it kissed. She couldn't remember the last time a man had done that to her. Certainly never stateside. Politely, the manager looked to Dalton to say something to the effect of understanding why it pays to wait. She couldn't quite make it out, as her hearing on the left side wasn't great with background noise, but she could feel herself blushing at the kind sound of it. The man disappeared just as quickly as he was at the table. Dalton paused to be seated until she was. "Surf or turf? Or both?" "Excuse me?" She peered around the side of the shutter-like menu in front of her face, and he repeated, "Surf or turf? Do you feel like having anything in particular?" "Daniel in the back is just the best. They all are. They can make you anything. The scallops are killer. As big as a slider." What's a slider? That sounds good." "You don't know what a..." "Never mind. The scallops are brilliant." "Brilliant? Brilliant, you say?" "Yes. Classic," he replied in a further forced posh English accent. The sparkle in her eyes as she smiled back at him told of her approval while taking a sip of club soda. Suddenly, the same smiling face made his way back to their table holding a bottle with a towel over his shoulder this time. His expression was that of someone who was giving a highly anticipated gift to an excited child. "What have you got for us, Salvato? You know what I've been asking for." "I make for you. This is the Shiraz from Enfield, the Hames Vineyard. You asked about months ago." "Oh, Ava, I've been big on Australian wines this year. But I heard about this one on Wine Library on YouTube. You really tested your palate, haven't you? I'm impressed. We'll take it, brother. 1 glass each?" "No, we'll have the bottle." "This is the only one, are you so sure?" Ava can appreciate the vintage and will enjoy it with me. Thank you, Salvador." With a nod, the delighted restaurateur uncorked the bottle and inserted a decanter from the shirt pocket. "I hope you're going to like, Mr. Dalton." Ava and Dalton sent telepathic "I love yous" back and forth as Salvador poured. Their seasoned taste for wines around the world cut past the tannins, had them back and forth with the black olive and rhubarb hints as they each discovered. Ava thought she had caught a glimpse of the total on the check before Dalton could pinch his American Express to it and hand it to their server. She felt a wave of nausea and embarrassment creeping up quickly before he interrupted her in mid-thought. I'm really going to enjoy getting to know Zena better this week. I mean, I'm sure to miss her. I'll miss you, but I actually think it'll be nice to spend some real time with her. He spoke straight to the very concern that had dominated much of her free thought life since Uma had begged off. Any other way of raising the subject would have certainly sent her to the ladies' room retching, but he had a sincerity in his tone that disarmed her fears. Ava had also identified that in her whole life she could count on one hand, with fingers to spare, the number of people who told her that they in fact miss her. This was TDY, not a year-long mission. Besides, everyone close to her was either in or had been in, or at least grown up in a household where prolonged times apart were an afterthought. She found herself blushing once more when they stood to head out, and he remarked, "You should make that outfit look nice." It was something she never get used to, that and him holding the door for her, or helping her with her jacket. The same kid that had parked with a sporty roadster or pickup truck just hours before was holding the door for them as they left. The engine was running and Ava's door was open. Dalton tucked a cigarette roll of dollars in the young man's hand. His discretion with his generosity made her happy to be giving her time to him. "Are you sure you're good to drive us back, Slugger?" "Are you kidding? You finished that bottle more than a few sips ahead of me. I left plenty in my glass, because I was too busy making you laugh." "I love your laugh." With that, his hand combed past the bunch of curls pinned to the side of her face, kissing her lips sweetly. "Thank you," she said as he closed her door, jogging around the nose. He jokingly retorted, "For the kiss, they're getting your door for you." The door closed shut, and he buckled his seatbelt. "What was that you said outside?" "What, this?" He leaned in and kissed her once more. He was being cute, but the second kiss felt no less tender. I forget. The pair cruised silently in their fullness for a bit of the drive. Harry Connick Jr. crooned over the stereo quietly for their short trip back to the townhome. "Dalton," her voice stirred Dalton to realize red and blue flashing lights flooded his glass and mirrors. The sharp spotlight made him wince. "Would you grab the pistol and registration out of the glove box for me, please? I've got this." She carefully did as he requested, emptying the magazine and placing the Glock on the dash and sliding his registration into his lap, sitting quietly. He lowered the window and killed the engine, leaving both hands in plain sight on the wheel. Neither appeared anxious to the other, which helped the whole situation immensely. Ava found herself impressed that he had a weapon. He was actually calm under stress. Dalton could not clearly make out the name on the badge of the officer and couldn't distinguish any facial features due to the blast of the mag light. "Good evening, officer." "Officer Pryor, have you got your license and registration handy?" "Yes, sir." "Hey, how do you like the 43? "Sir?" "Oh, the Glock. It's terrific and discreet. I feel like the 1911 is perhaps more effective, but nothing beats having steady aim, right, Officer Pryor?" "Could have said it better, Say, you're Dalton Michelson." "Yes, sir. Is there Man, I thought that might have been you. I mean, the killer wheels and all. You know, my brother-in-law actually had tickets for the Baltimore game you played. My sister got some bad Chinese food the night before, so we didn't end up going, but man, that was a hell of a game. You sure played that night." "Thank you very much. I appreciate the support." Dalton flashed a look at Ava, who didn't know what to make of what was happening. His hand gently patted her left thigh, then traced the letter I, a heart shape, and the letter U with his index finger. She could barely contain her laughter. "Yeah, the guys and I feel real bad to hear about your, The officer stopped and ducked his head in the car window to see Ava sitting quietly, her hand resting on top of Dalton's. "Well, hello there, miss. Good evening, Officer Pryor. With that, the officer tapped the roof of the vehicle with the hand holding Dalton's driver's license and minorly torn registration. Well, man, you be sure to get this one home safely now, will you? I will, officer. Okay, then. You two have a good. Wait a second. For the first time in the exchange, Dalton felt nervous about possibly getting ticketed. David was thinking it was too good to be true and patted his thigh to indicate her prediction. I've got my grandson's ball glove in the trunk. Would you? You wouldn't mind. A warm wink and a smile from Dalton flashed his way as the officer disappeared into the blinding red and blue strobes at their back. I had no idea. Don't get overconfident yet. You still got your information. Memorabilia may not be all you'll be asked to sign, big boy. Here you go. The tall figure handed the baseball gloves to Dalton with his license and registration tucked in it. Shoot, I forgot my pen. I've got one just here, officer. A Sharpie appeared seemingly out of thin air. Scott. Well, I'm Scott. You can make that out to my grandson, Brock. He'll get a kick out of that. Perfect. Hey, again, I'm real sorry about well, everything. I know that's got to be tough. His voice softened out of respect for Ava and the dead. Dalton nodded silently to indicate he appreciated the understanding and his gratitude. You'll be in my prayers, okay? Y'all have a safe night now. Officer Pryor happily examined the autograph on his grandson's baseball mitt as he made his way back to the cruiser. Neither Ava or Dalton made a sound until the red and blue lights switched off. Dalton fired up the ignition, and Ava burst out laughing. What was that? Her words broke through hilarious laughter. Dalton only had a silent look and a shake of his head with the slightest grin to offer. No, you can't play the humble card after something like that, Dalton Michelson. The Dalton Michelson? Could it really be? All right. Some people think they know people they've seen other places. It's really not that uncommon. No, I think this guy has been watching you since you first swung a bat. He knew you. He knew the second he saw you sitting in your little yellow rocket car. He knew this truck. He knew everything about you, even while he was very nice to let you off without even so much as a warning. It's all nonsense, really. David didn't press further, but rested her hand atop his on the knob of the gear shift. You know, it's funnier to me when older guys recognize me now. It's the kids that play the video games I've done voiceovers for that should recognize me, if anyone. The whole thing is just... it's silly, you know? I don't know. His voice trailed off, and Ava just rubbed his hand and forearm. Sorry about what happened. You kidding? I got lucky with that officer. No, I mean, with her. Dalton replied with an enormous sigh. It's okay. There's nothing you could have done. Gosh, it's getting late. Just get you home to bed so you can get going in the morning. I've got clients in the morning. I promise to check on Zena right after, okay? Thank you. Each week I get to share with you chapter by chapter. I love it. I look forward to your feedback in the DMs, in the messenger, on Instagram at Patriot Heart Media, on Facebook, just search Doc Collins, D-O-C, C-O-L-L-I-N-S. On Twitter at RealDocCollins. Feel free to leave your comments there. Or you can find me on Snapchat at PatriotHeartDoc. Again, I am your host, veteran author, Doc Collins, and this has been Patriot Heart Radio, part of the Dangerous Grounds Network. This was Chapter 11, and I thank you for your attention. I appreciate it, and look forward to sharing with you more next week. Have a great Veterans Day and a safe week.